uh, cultured person, O Brahmana, that I am a Buddha. Now the practical lesson of this is that we all have this capability. I am a Buddha. And I'll remind you, I always think of that beautiful incident long ago, about 20 years ago or so. I had invited a Buddhist monk to speak on such occasion. And then I asked him, what topic will you be speaking on? And he replied, it is birthday of Buddha, so I will speak on birthday of Buddha. No, but on that day you are speaking, but what will be the topic? Birthday of Buddha. And then he told this and said that thus, when anybody walks on this path and reaches the destination, a Buddha is born. That is the birth of a Buddha. Buddha is not a particular person. It is a state of awakening. So, and this awakening depends on following the four paths or the four noble truths, not really four paths, I'm sorry. It is four noble truths. And this is called noble. We will see why they are called noble truths. Because noble, not in the sense of being an English nobleman, and noble means when the mind gets evolved to a stage, then only these truths get perceived, otherwise they do not get perceived, even though intellectually one may be able to understand them. But they do not become matter of perception unless one grows, evolves to a level of, say, cultural or spiritual awareness. A spiritual awareness has to evolve to that extent. I am using this word spiritual because for the lack of a better word. But there is an evolution in our understanding, our awareness, and when that reaches at a particular level, only then certain truths will become obvious to us. And in the Sanskrit word, in English they have been translated now for centuries. This translation has been there, that noble truths. The Sanskrit as well as the Pali word for that is Arya Satya. Arya Satya means that which can appeal to a cultivated person. Otherwise, what Buddha saw to come to arrive at this truth is our everyday experience too. It was said that until he became 25 years old, he was never allowed to get exposed to the sufferings in this world. No shadow of sorrow would fall on him. He would not see any change. He got married and then had a son. Then one day he asked his charioteer, called him, let's go to see this city, Kapilavastu. Let us go and see that city. And now immediately the king, his name was Shuddhodana, he ordered to clean the whole city, let nobody be, let Buddha not see any trace of suffering around. So everybody was told to come in their best attires and so forth, with most smiling faces. But now there are always sick people are there. It is a man who was very sick, could not walk, was mourning because of that sickness, pain. So Buddha asked the charioteer, because he had not seen such a sight before. And he asked, "Hey, what is this?" "Sir, this man is inflicted with a very bad disease." "Is it so? What does it mean? Does everybody get?" "Oh yes, most of the people, everybody you can say sometime or other falls sick. This is the fate of people, they fall sick." "Does it mean I too?" "Yes. You may be living in luxuries, but that doesn't mean sickness will not visit you. It can visit you too." Buddha got a bit shocked. Then, although king has made all arrangements not to let anything, any suffering become obvious there, can you make a rule that nobody should die on that day? That is not king's domain to. And so somebody had died, and a procession, a funeral procession was going on. And then Buddha had never seen that such a thing, Siddhartha. He was yet to become Buddha. So, hey, what is this? The fellow died. What does it mean, died? Yes, this human life comes to this pass. Everybody dies. Everybody dies. Me too. Yes, yes, Lord, you too. And there is no exception. Oh my goodness. There was an old man walking with a stick. The back was all bent. They could not properly see, so was tottering on his feet with stick in hand. The mouth has become all free of teeth. And so it was, he asked, "What is this sight? Who is this?" "The old man." "Really? What is this?" "Well, if you live long enough, you become old." Me too? Yes, of course, you too. So Buddha became very introspective. In some biographies it is told that this happened on 3 different days. Some biographies say it is one single day of tour this happened. Anyway, that's not important. Then they came to the mendicant who was sitting silently with a serene, calm face. What is this? This is a mendicant sitting peacefully. Is it so? Okay, he came back and then decided after a few days. By that time, as I mentioned earlier, he already had wife and a little son, and he decided, let me go. And it is mentioned by himself that it is not that he did not love his wife, not that he had a fight at home with wife and in anger decided to leave the house. It happens sometimes that, I don't want to live with you anymore. And so you say bye-bye to this spouse. Usually they come back after a few days. But it is, he said no, there was no lack of love for wife or children or the people at the palace, but there was more love for the truth. And so he decided to give it up. Then he became disciples of certain teachers. A very nice narration about it. I'm not going to go for the sake of time. And then he saw that they are all good, but they do not seem to reach the ultimate solution of this problem of misery or suffering in life. So he gave them up, and then under a big banyan tree, it is like a fig tree actually. That tree is not seen around here, although I saw plenty of them in Puerto Rico. It is that is called Vata Vriksha, that tree of Vata. So it becomes a big tree, and because of its very special way of breeding, it keeps on growing and growing, and then can last for 500 years. So under one such tree, he sat determined to find the way out of this terrible mess. And on that night, I won't go again into the details of the description, but the layers and layers of ignorance started falling off. Mm. And it is possible for us also. It is very rational. In Vedanta, this process is called Panchakosha Vivarana. These 5 sheets, 5 layers, they fall off as it were. We get identified with 5 layers as if it is our true nature. Like, I am this body, I am this, all these things are mine. When you analyze, you know that you are not the body. None of these things belong to you. So, when that thought becomes that deep, as it were, one layer of ignorance has gone away. Then a second layer comes that, well, I may not be body and all, but there is something that powers the body. In Sanskrit, the word is called prana. So, I am that. It is, you have to see that you are not that also. That layer also falls off. Then you come to the layer that I am mind. No, you are not mind. That also changes. It is, you use it, but it is not you. True, I am not the mind. Then the layer of intellect, that called Vijnanamaya Kosha. I am not that either. That it is, after all, another layer. I am not that. Also, I am not the principle of ego. I am not even the cause of all this. So all these layers in that night fell off gradually, and early morning, he became the enlightened one. And again, to move this cursor forward, that it is fast forwarding, we see that he thought that this is a great truth that has the power to deliver human beings from sufferings. A very factual thing, that it doesn't depend on any theorization. Suffering is a matter of our everyday experience. Even our young friend here, Mayuk, when his dad tells him, hey, keep aside that phone and start studying, he doesn't feel very happy about it. There is suffering associated with that. When he wants to eat something and mom says, no, you can't eat that, he again gets a jolt. Suffering is there. Yes. What kind of a mom she is. So, there, you see, everybody gets suffering here. It is not something that needs a theorization. suffering is common experience. So, but we do not really try to use our intelligence to get over it. And so Buddha thought that who is going to, they are all immersed in sense pleasures. They don't want to give it up. And so even if I try to tell, who is going to listen to? We don't listen to that. We listen sometimes as an act of piety. Okay, let us listen, something like that. But we are not ready to act on that or give up our so-called pleasures. I have told a very nice story many times that a minister was giving a very nice illuminating discourse and then said, that is the kingdom of heaven. I am sure you all want to get there. Raise your hands if you want to go there. And he expected all hands to go up, but to his surprise, not a single hand was raised. He asked, why you don't want to go there? And then some of the members of the church said, no, we want to eventually, but not now. At this moment, that is not the thought uppermost. It is after this service, which diner I am going to dine at, that is the present thought, So, we are so engrossed in the sensory pleasures that we do not carry this message, and therefore Buddha saw that it is futile. But then he thought, no, he was guided by the celestial spirits there. No, some will find it helpful. Some, one amongst many thousands, as Bhagavad Gita says, that one amongst many thousands, they think of these things, not more than that, even in those so-called good times. So it is, you can see that for that such Buddha decided, okay, let me preach this. And then he preached his first sermon at a very famous place. Became famous because of this, that it is near the city Varanasi, in English called Benares. So it is the deer park there, Sarnath Deer Park. So there he gave his first sermon to those whom he earlier knew as the disciples practicing various austerities, torturing the body, hoping that that will bring them to enlightenment. And he told them, oh dear, listen. And he preached them this and 4 noble truths. And the noble truths that they speak of this, that it is, and I am quoting here, this is a very nice book, if you can, it is a very good compilation from various Pali and Sanskrit texts of the teachings of Lord Buddha, all, and very nicely given. So, and let me quote from there. The perfect one, brothers, the holy one, the fully enlightened one, at Ishipatana in the Deer Park in Benares, has established the supreme kingdom of truth, so which none can overthrow. The truth is that which nobody can overthrow. Other kingdoms of this king and that king get overthrown. Even in democracy, 4 years for a president again has to struggle later. So it is. And after 8 years, 2 terms, the fellow is gone. So it is not a kingdom that is forever, but The kingdom of truth is forever. So, and he says, they, he very beautifully presented a good statement that everybody can have this in the whole world, and that is by proclaiming, pointing out, making known, establishing, unveiling, explaining, and making evident the Four Noble Truths. So, the first of the Noble Truth is called the truth of suffering. That the story that I told earlier, that Buddha went for a ride in the town, and then after seeing this, he saw this. It is it doesn't sound to reason that before that he never saw anybody dying. It doesn't sound to reason that there was no sickness that he encountered. There is no chance that he has not seen any old age. But why it is said that he saw it for the first time? Because now that spiritual evolution had happened, and so he really saw it. That is really seeing. Seeing means understanding the implications of what is being seen. That is why Jesus says, let those who have eyes, let them see. Because we have eyes, although they are there only as a structural part, not a functional part. These eyes for us, they do not show the truth. And they show all the illusory things. So, see that Buddha actually saw the implications of all this. That dawned on him on that day, and therefore it is allegorically said that it is for the first time he saw them. So he now therefore explains that it is the world, however, is given to pleasure, delighted with pleasure, enchanted with pleasure. Verily such beings will hardly understand the law of conditionality. It is a simple law of life. There are conditions, consequences associated with every act. We do not see the consequences. So therefore, we get into many bad things, the debts and all that, because we grabbed something for the sake of pleasure, and then get stuck with it because we did not realize the consequences of it at that time, and then later it was rather too late for it. It is so. Thus, he says people are not in the habit of seeing the consequences. So, who is going to adopt that? Yet there are beings whose eyes are only a little covered with dust. They will understand the truth. They have some awakening. So, what is now the noble truth of suffering? He says everything is suffering. Either right now it is suffering, or in consequence it is suffering. And therefore it is suffering. Know that it is, even though at the moment it appears as full of joy, lot of pleasure, yet we are not seeing the suffering that will follow that. So, in the consequence, everything is suffering. Even Bhagavad Gita says that yehi sansparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate. All those pleasures that come due to the contact of the sense and the sense object, they are actually suffering. And the wise ones see that, and therefore they don't take pleasure in it. So, it is in this way Buddha says everything, birth is suffering, growth is suffering, everything is mired in suffering. So, know this truth. But this is not feeling depressed. When people see this, oh, this is a very pessimistic message. No, becoming aware of the truth is not pessimistic. Do not get artificially jacked up by covering your eyes from the truth, because the truth is going to shine forth. It is going to come, and you cannot stop that. So open the eyes. Do not get disheartened by that. The situation is like this. Accept it. If you want to deal with it, first you have to accept it. Running away, Swami Vivekananda tells this story, which we do very often. We do like the rabbit in that story. The rabbit was being chased by a wolf. And then the wolf was gaining. Although the rabbit was running, the wolf was running faster. And so the rabbit thought that, let me bury my head in the sand there. Now what happens? Rabbit cannot see the wolf. Doesn't mean the wolf cannot see the rabbit. So now it is easier for the wolf to catch the fellow. So we also want to cover our eyes so that we don't see the sufferings. That doesn't mean sufferings do not come to us. They are sure to catch up. So see them and now girdle up the loin and see, analyze them, and be ready to face these challenges as a human being. Yes, human race has faced many different challenges, and with our intelligence that has been gifted to us naturally, let us go forward. So, it is human beings find the cause of this suffering. Is there a cause? Like the physicians, when they have a malady, they do lot of analysis, this, that, and then come to the, determined diagnosis that this is the cause, and therefore this is the medication. So there is this cause. Once it is therefore said that if you have the diagnosis, then half cure is already done, or some even say full cure is already done, because diagnosis is important. If you don't have diagnosis, then it is going to be difficult. We were having the problem of sewage backing up. So now once or twice the plumber with a snake pushed it out, but then told that this is not the solution. We have to find out what is happening. So next time he brought a camera that goes into that pipe, and then saw there is a breakage there. The pipe is broken there, and so all the stones and soil that gets and blocks it. So that needs to be fixed. Now we got the diagnosis. Now the path is clear. What is to be done? So it is like this. The suffering is there. And by just applying the temporary solutions, which psychologists tend to propose, that okay, go for a vacation, and that will take care of it. These are the temporary, some, these masking the suffering, that not removing the suffering, but masking the suffering. Oh, okay, yes, it is. They tell this story. One a man had come to that psychologist and said, "Oh, I am suffering a lot. I will tell you, there is a very good joker's show, and then that he makes everybody laugh so much, you will forget all your suffering. Please go to that show. That is my suggestion. You will get rid of that suffering." And that patient said, "I am that joker myself." So it is that joker I am. I make everybody laugh, but what is my life? So that is how it is. So this Buddha was not going to put some masking tapes. It is going to suggesting that diagnose it. And he saw that there is a cause for that. Cause for that. He called that cause the thirst, the longing for the sense objects. And means, yes, we have longing for those things. In Sanskrit, the word was Trishna, in Pali, Tanha. So there's Tanha, that is the cause, and this is because of this wrong understanding of who I am. I am this little being, and then this world pulls me. It creates a thirst in me, and that becomes the cause of suffering. That, yeah, with everybody, I am so and so, and thus I need this, I need that for my happiness, and I become thirsty for those things. Yeah, it is, and you run after it. You become agitated if you don't get it. You become angry if you see that somebody is obstructing your path to get it. So it is thus all this suffering comes because of this, that there is this wrong I. Okay, dear, the diagnosis is done. Is there then a medication for it? Does a medication exist? And yes, there is the medication. Otherwise, even if there is a good diagnosis, there are many diseases which are uncurable. And so, even if you diagnose, like recently one of our young Swamis breathed his last, he had what is called a motor neuro disorder. Gradually, all the strength of the muscles is lost, and he lost his walking ability, his hand moving ability. I met him just about 2 months ago, exactly 2 months ago. It was on 7th March that I met him. So it is, and he was very calm. He knew that is this, and he also knew that that doesn't affect his true nature. The body will pass away. What is big deal? It is not today, tomorrow it will go away. So he was very calm about it. He was not able to speak, but he was smilingly, he was indicating that he is very well resigned to this fact. So the point here is that there are some disorders which do not have any medication. So even if you get the right diagnosis, if there is no medication, what are you going to do about it? So Buddha says the third noble truth, there is the medicine for it. There is the solution of it. And this solution, he says that, look, it is also quite logically arrived at. That logical sequence in Buddhist terminology is called Pratitha Samutpad. That see how things originate one from the other, then that one from still other. Look at this chain of how it originates. And then if you cut the root, then that whole chain will be gone. So that is the solution. That solution is there. Because of these drags, we develop the attachments. How these drags come? Because of the false idea of I and the world. That is the cause of these. So, if you see, that is how you run after these things. So this running after them is a cause, but then that is preceded by the impressions that you are carrying. Those impressions make you do that. It is all very well connected logical arguments. So there is the solution for it. There is diagnosis and there is medicine. Now the fourth noble truth. It all sounds very nice, but is it practicable? Is it available to everyone? Is it possible? Because if you say that the medicine is there, the diagnostic says that the medicine is there, you have to get the soil from Mars. Now I'll say, oh, I have no way to get that particular soil from Mars. So practically that solution is not there for me. So it is, therefore, is that something? No, the solution is right here. It is very practical. Now the practical means, we use the word practicality in a very funny way. Practical, many think that without changing myself I should get it. If I have to change my ways, then I think it is not practical. So we try to pull down the ideal. Vivekananda, in his wonderful book, Practical Vedanta, very nice book, a small book, there he mentions that these are the two tendencies that you see in human beings. That when people see that they are finding it difficult to stop what they are doing, if it is told that, stop drinking, not water, you know the meaning, okay. So it is, then if you are addicted to it, you see that it is impossible. No, you can do that. There is the possibility of it. You have to take the proper measures and you will overcome that. It is, so even if it has become addiction, see how it became addiction and thus just reverse the cycle. It is possible. So, but this man says, no, it is not possible. And so continues to dwell in that habit. So things that the advice to get rid of it is impractical. So we think like that it is impractical. Many people are addicted to fear. If they want to and if they apply proper measures, they can get rid of it. But they hold on to their irrational phobias, fears, and thus cannot get rid of it. If they want, and there are the simple means that they have to apply, and they will get rid of it. But they don't want, they say it is not practical. So that their practicality is that the ideal should be pulled down to their level. They don't want to change themselves. They pull down the ideal. The other class, they do not do this kind of a mistake of pulling down the ideal. They change themselves. They change their position. They change their lifestyle. They evolve themselves to the ideal. So the first group, Swami Vivekananda says, they idealize the real. The other group, they realize the ideal. So we should realize the ideal by bringing that change in ourselves. So that is possible, and that is called the Eightfold Noble Path. And it is all the simple moral qualities that we have been taught right from our, say, kindergarten, that speak the truth. And there are these 8 ways there. So this is the 4th noble truth, that it is like samadhi, proper vision. Proper vision means understanding that, look, everything is evanescent. Your body is evanescent. It is just a passing show. Is it real? Is it real? Continuously changing. How can you hold on to that? You can never hold on to a wave on the ocean. It is just rising and falling. It has no identity as such. Even by the time you say, hey, this is the wave, it has merged in the ocean. So this body is like that. It is a wave. Those who study modern quantum physics, which says that everything is really a wave form. So you don't have to be, of course, studying quantum physics to even know this. It's simple that we change and it is gone. So it is saying that in the everyday language, here today, gone tomorrow. So therefore see that that is called samadhi. So there is no use running after anything here. Then there is samma sankalpa, have the right resolves. Very important, right resolve. Do not have any resolve regarding the evanescent things, that okay, instead of 1 million I will get $2 million next year. What does it mean? Just a name, you know. It doesn't mean anything. That there is that very famous story of Tolstoy, how much land a man needs. You must have read it, that there was that announcement that a person will get as much land, as big a circle he can complete from a sunrise to sunset. And this man decided to take a big circle, wanted a big land, and went on running. Didn't bother to, wait, because then he will not be able to complete the circle. Went on. And then, just as it was going to be sunset, he leaped to come back to that point, but never to rise again. So how much land he got? They buried a ditch to bury him. They dug a ditch to bury him. So that much, about 10 square feet of land that he finally managed to get, that too after the death. So how much land a man needs? Think of that. So let us not have our resolves about getting this and getting this. I will get a higher position in this job. Let me make a resolve like that. No, don't resolve like that. Resolve to make your mind stronger. Let us make the resolve to build more strength so that we can resist all these temptations. Thus, gradually this resolve becomes stronger and stronger in us. So, there are many such 8 things. One is samma sankalpa, as I told about it. There is sammak ajiv, samyak smriti, and then that samyak samadhi. Samma means a comprehensive and correct. So these eightfold path is the fourth noble truth. That yes, if I go to narrate each of those, it will be 8 p.m. So I don't want to keep this going on till then. So it is important just to see that there is the practical way of lifting our life to the ideal. Let us never fall prey to the temptation of lowering down the ideal. It is, no, let us not do that. Instead, let us lift ourselves to the ideal. In one youth convention, I was in Shillong those days. So, one young man said, we should not have too lofty ideals, They become then impossible, so, and we feel depressed if we don't get it. Have these ideals reasonably practical. And another young person said, well, no, what I disagree with my fellow speaker. I say let us have the loftiest ideal, but let us build the pillars from the ground to that ideal. Let us build a ladder that will take ourselves there. So that is an important thing. Let us evolve in our living, not get caught in what we already have. So friends, let us meditate for a few seconds, say half a minute, on these great, wonderful teachings of Lord Buddha. And then, if you have questions, let us take them into consideration. Yes, any question? There is no question here. Is there any question up there?
Yes. We have a barrage of questions from Absolute, and he's not the only questioner, so I think I will summarize.
It's a long question.
Barrage
of questions.
5 questions.
Oh, okay. Give me the absolute essence of what this Mr. Absolute is saying.
So, how to apply these teachings to have loving relationships and be in touch with our real nature?
Yes. See, if you have these relations, the relations have 2 components. One is a matter of duty, and another is the component of attachment. So the solution to this is to do the first part, but stop the second part. First part is what you need to do the work. Whatever your station is, whatever your relationship is, suppose, for example, you are working in a bank. Now continue that work. If you need to do, continue that work truthfully, and know that it is just an evanescent passing show. So don't get attached to it. Don't think that you and this bank, they are eternally related and like that. It is similarly with your spouse or children or other friends or parents, all relations. Do whatever your part demands, but do not get caught. We never get hurt. Our progress never gets hampered by doing our duty. But the bondage that we weave around through attachment, that is what makes our path not go anywhere. So, therefore, in all our relationships, if we take care of this, those relationships, they last as long as they are supposed to last. But we do not get caught in that. Do the work, don't get attached. That is the message of all the great spiritual teachers, and also in many of these anecdotes, Buddha has explained those things. Yes. So that is all the questions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Absolute. If I have not been able to answer some of your questions, you can ask next time.
There's one from Vishwa.
One from Vishwa, okay.
Yes. Is Vedanta truly about living a proper and meaningful life, or to put an end to desiring this limited material life and remain peaceful?
That is, both are actually synonymous. Leading a meaningful life means do not get caught in all those things which carry no meaning or are just causing bondage. That is, both of these are really obverse and reverse of the same coin. Two ways of description. One way is go to east, and another way of saying the same thing is move away from the west. They mean the same thing. So both these things are identical, and that is what Vedanta or Buddha says. In fact, Sri Ramakrishna described Buddha's religion as the highest truth preached by Vedanta, practiced and preached by Buddha. So that is how that is. Thank you, Vishwa. So let me make some announcements, and then coming Tuesday we will have our regular Tuesday class on the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna at 7:30 p.m. But then from Thursday we shall have very beautiful different programs. A wonderful visiting Swami, Swami Anubhavananda, a very senior Swami, and he is coming here. Will be staying here for a few days, from Thursday to Sunday. He will arrive on Wednesday evening and leave on Monday morning. So for these 4 days, that is 12th, 13th, 14th, 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th, there are programs. There you can read the list of the programs. There is a poster of Anubhavanandaji's visit details. So, or even on our website you can find them. On Saturday he will be giving a day-long retreat from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. But for that one has to register. So you can register here with Naomi, or you can register on the website. So please do it if you want, as fast as you can. So all other regular programs will go on as usual, like the early morning meditations, prayers, same evening prayers, meditations. So, and I will conclude now with the closing prayers, and after that we will have Arati, and you are all invited to join a humble soup supper. May the divine, closing prayers, may the divine, who is the father of Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.
Breaker of all our worldly bondage and adored by all, we adore you too. Yes, Lord, as living human form, endless, Lord, as living human form, transcendent yet filled with love. You free us from the stain of sin and ornament our world. Consciousness is your palm. Your eyes always purified by knowledge. Your eyes always purified by knowledge. Looking at them, delusion is gone. Ocean of shining love and feeling, ever inebriated in your infinite love. Your feet always dear to your devotees. Your feet always dear to your devotees. From our boat to cross this world, revealed to us as God incarnate and the Lord of all things, helping us to join with you. blessed graciousness sublime, all noble ends you give to us, granting us refuge, all seeing God. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Creation, preservation, dissolution are your powers, eternal one. Nature's real basis, nature's essence. O Mother Divine, our love to you. We come seeking refuge from anguish. Be our Savior through your deep concern. All our suffering remove, Goddess. O Mother Divine, our love to you. Victory, O Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Blessed Mother Divine, our love to you. Jai Shri Ram Krishna Dev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Sarda Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Swami Vivekananda